I think that kind of rolls into to be a successful operator. And if we're talking about tactics in a CQB setting or in the tactical setting, your main objective is to know your skill sets where you're not going to be a detriment, but you are going to be contributing to the overall success of the mission. So you have your role. There's a scale that a special team or special forces kind of loosely tries to adopt is your skill level and your trustworthy level. So those two, it's very, very impossible to find a 100% skilled person with a 100% trust level. So I think you have to find that healthy balance where I would much rather take a slightly lesser individual with skills and a high level of trust. So that's where the compromise needs to come into place. So if you work in that close-knit environment where the trust is paramount to any of the skill sets, you can work your way through that, but the trust has to be there where we know on a split second the decision that needs to be made is based on trust, team trust. So the decision that I'm going to make in a split second going through this door or do this tactic, a lot of it really relies on my ability to trust my partner on the left and partner on the right. And I think that is if that's your goal, to be able to bring to the team that absolute trust of your teammates, that's that cohesiveness. And I don't think there's any mission that can't be accomplished with a set of team individuals that have that absolute trust in each other. And that's what usually gets that problem solved. You can have a team of highly skilled individuals with mediocre trust, and I guarantee you that team can get bogged down in an instant instead of smoothly accomplishing the task because of that second thought, that split second decision on going this way because of the lack of trust. So for me, I think we can go into skill sets, skill level, angles, proficiency in weapons and all that. And I think we can go spend days on talking about each aspect and why it's important for this mission or that mission. But I think overall, I think the absolute trust that you can bring to the team, that's where that's where the team actually grows and thrives and gets better and better and stronger at the mission skill set. I think over my career and experience with that, the main difference is, and I just spoke with a friend and we were discussing that recently, on the military side as well as the law enforcement side, is the main difference. You see, like I expressed and explained before, angles are the same, doors are the same, structures are the same, and the human body is relatively, built in the same capacity of, we have 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs. So the tactics doesn't vary too much, but the main difference is the military side, you've got the workup, the deployment, and then you got the debrief or the cool down or the decompression period. Whereas law enforcement, a tier 1 team, if you will, in law enforcement, they don't have the luxury of a workup, the deployment, and then decompressing or cool down and getting ready for the next workup. It's there's no rest period. When you rest is when you retire from the position. The 12 years that I did on our team, even if you're on vacation, if you're relatively close to the city, you are coming. You are going to go to an all-hands hostage rescue or a critical incident. So there's no security in the sense that I'm not on my rotation, so I can't get called up. It's a constant. So the stress on your mental stability as well as your physical is where over a period of time takes its toll on a police side tier 1 individual that has to be always ready to respond to that call up or respond to that rescue. And there is many times where at the finishing tail of a call up on the police side, you get a alert that you got to go to another one right away. So you're going from call up to call up to call up. And I know on the military side, you can do probably 20, 30 hits on one deployment, on one 2-day deployment. And that's pre-planned. You have these pre-planned hits that you have to work yourself up on. But as far as on the police side, there's nothing that really can prepare you for the call up low per se. You can have a dry 2 weeks where there's no call ups, but you're still on the back of your head that you have to be ready. So, or you can have back to back call ups for 2 weeks where you're just exhausted, but then there's still no break on wondering that there's a cool down period or a work down period. So the two main differences is stuff. I mean, we're talking more organizationally or more as far as philosophically how the organization is run. Like I said, the tactics are nearly identical. You can compare tactics, movement, proficiency, weaponry, all that is very similar on both sides of the spectrum. But the understanding that on the police side, the only time you rest is when you retire. So for me, having gone through that seems like the most understated, but as far as one of the most important concepts of a police side tier 1 team and a military side tier 1 team. My plans are amazing and great that I envision coming from 5 or 6 years ago when I first was introduced to the Special Forces military community here in South Korea, and I was amazed at how similar the workup, the development, and the history is with our U.S. military and law enforcement, that the potential is limitless. And as I've been coming here over the years, sharing and learning and exchanging a lot of good information, I think that's where I think in the future I'm excited about. We have such potential. This is such a eager country to absorb and learn. They're always welcoming outside units from all over the world to see what they can share and gather. And the excitement that I have for the future here is with all the exposure and training that I've had and will have continually going on throughout the world, I can bring in some good future training that's been vetted already, that's been, I think, tested per se, and share with them some of the things that I've seen to work, to not work, and have really good, honest discussions about that, because the exposure that South Korea already has in all the different areas, from defensive tactics to firearms to you name it, tactical training. They've been exposed so much already that all you have to do is explain and show a couple of different things, and they get it as a country. They get it. They've seen so much, paralleling with our U.S. military branches as well. So it just makes it more fun, makes it more enjoyable, and you can train at a higher level, higher clip that everyone understands. You get a lot more done and accomplished. And I'm excited to see what else we have in store this upcoming year.